My life, it has forever changed, and I just don't understand why. I can't make meaning of it, but I try to make the best of the situation and just like, God, I don't know what you want from me, but like just direct my path and give me the strength to continue to make some sort of meaning out of what has happened. So.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Karis LeVay, and I'm actually here as a survivor of gun violence. July 27, 2014, I was shot walking down the streets of the Bronx on my way to work, doing a lot of what you guys do, and I was not the intended target, but we know bullets don't have names. It was a Sunday afternoon. This is actually my first time speaking as a survivor. And I told Tamika weeks ago that I am a Grammy-nominated ghostwriter and also the co-founder of my own social justice organization. But I told Tamika, I said, everyone's asking why I don't use this story as part of my platform, and I'm getting emotional because I survived my bullet.
Take your time.
And I can't imagine what the families feel whose children did not make it home. And so, as a survivor, I never felt like I wanted to talk a lot about my story because I'm just glad that I was able to make it home. But my mentors and people have shown me that I at least get to tell my story. And it's important as an artist and as an activist who's been impacted by gun violence to speak about those intersections and how that has even changed my advocacy after being shot, not knowing if I would ever walk again. And so I'm here supporting my Until Freedom family and supporting the families up here. Gun violence is a systemic issue. And a lot of people do not get to come home to tell their story.
That's right.
And what, after the bullet, then the other systemic oppression that you face in the hospitals, that you face, whether it's at work or whatever it is, in your community, the way people look at you or approach you, especially when they know the person who shot you and won't say anything. And you see people not able to look at you when you walk down the street because they know who harmed you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Shatima Turner. My son, Stephen Turner, Steph West, young Steph from Harlem,
That's right.
was killed August 27th, 2021. This is very fresh for me. I have my people in the room. All of you are my people, actually, but I have my people in the room, so I have to do this. I was very nervous. I'm actually honored, thank you, Tamika, to have the opportunity to come and speak and to share. A lot of times, I use my social media platform to say who he was and to show people the love and just the generous and sincerity that my son came with. He wasn't in the streets, he wasn't a gangbanger, he wasn't that's neither here nor there because it doesn't make it right for anyone's life to be taken. But at the end of the day, my son was my best friend, and his life was taken short by him breaking up a fight between two people that he knew. So they are trying to deem it an accident. And I've been going back and forth to court fighting, with the justice system against the district attorney, speaking to people, reaching out to constituents, reaching out to my people that I have to try to get help so that there can be justice for my son's death. If any of you ever look on my Instagram page, it's Shatima_Forever Step West, you will just see photos and videos of my son and myself because we spent a lot of time together. We grew up together. I had him young. He leaves behind 3 children that I now have to help take care of because their moms are very much, in their lives and taking care of their babies. But it's just a hardship. It's not even a financial thing. It's more hurtful and impactful when we have to explain to them when they're asking, oh, can we get a rocket ship so we can go up there and see daddy?
God so much.
So, one of them is in therapy now because he started acting up in school. So it's just a lot of things that go along with people doing senseless things and taking another person's life, and even just carrying a gun. The guns are freely floating around our street, and we don't know how they're getting here. And, it's time that we find a solution on how to get them out of here, especially in the hands of people who don't,
Not responsible.
just don't use them.
That's it.
My son was shot by somebody who wasn't even looking. He turned his back and shot the gun. So, again, I appreciate everyone in the room, and I thank you, ladies, for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to come up here and be a part of this.
I am Audrey Jackson. My son is Bashar Barack Jackson, better known to you as Pop Smoke. On February 19th, 2020, he was ripped from us. The year he would have turned 20. He was 19 when he left. I've just been moving, because it's hard to hit a moving target. But in year 3, the shifts are taking place, and I'm beginning, I don't even want to say it, because if I say it, somehow it makes it real. I'm beginning to have to accept that there's nothing I can do that's going to make him show up. I run the foundation that he wanted, and at the end of every event, I feel disappointed, and I had to check myself. And I realized that I did all that work and all that excitement and all that, and then at the end of it, I thought he would show up. And so he didn't show up again. So that's where I am, and I think the challenge for me is I hear you talk about using your faith and your spirituality. Well, I feel sucker punched by God. And so I got to work through that, because it is this that showed me how much my faith took me through.
Come on.
I think it's my faith. I didn't have to worry about what people said to me, because God got me.
That's right.
I don't care what you do, God's got me.
We got you.
So what do you do now when it's like, God don't got me? So it's been, this week has been a rough one. So I'm here. I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Nicole Bell. I am from South Jamaica, Queens.
Outside, we outside.
My fiance was Sean Bell. He was killed on my wedding day in 2006, 16 years ago. He was leaving his bachelor party and he was shot by police, undercover police officers who were investigating a nightclub that he was partying at with his friends. We not only have we survived his death, but we've survived the justice system who dug Sean up and buried him again just by letting the cops go and not acquitting them, convicting them and acquitting them of all charges. So for me, it's been 16 years. I've raised my beautiful daughters, one who's here with me today, and they are a mirror reflection of their father, but they've also been my why. They've also been the reason why I have not stopped. For 16 years, there have been times when I've taken long breaks, and that was for my own mental health. And I want to say to all of you, 16 years ago, I met Reverend Sharpton, and with Reverend Sharpton, I met Tamika Mallory. There wasn't the organizations that we see here today. There was Erica was there were some other organizations, but you guys have given not only me, but some of us that extra strength, that extra push that we need to get through. Because when I lost Sean 16 years ago, there were lots of politicians, there were lots of activists. I didn't see many of us that were running organizations, right? That were showing the people exactly what's happening. So I have to say, you guys, thank you so much for everything, for being here today. And you guys are some brave folks. Let me tell you why. Because what you're witnessing right here, you guys are getting a peek in the window of what happens when you lose your loved one, or what happens when you lose that arm, that leg. Every single one of us here wish we didn't have to be here.
Yeah.
Not one of us want to be here today. And we continue to speak out because we are keeping the legacy of our loved ones alive. Beautiful. But it's also helping us, y'all. It's helping us. It's helping us raise our kids.
Yeah.
It's helping us do the work that we need to do. Just get up in the morning and get dressed. There were times when I didn't think I would laugh and smile again. And thank God he's brought me to where I am today. But it definitely took a lot of work, and I want to thank again all of you all for doing the work that you are doing.
Yeah.
Take the message of what you hear today, of what you learned today, and share it with everybody you know.
Yeah.
Share it with every single person, and let them know what happens after that person dies. Let them know. After that person is killed, after that person is shot, let them know. And hopefully we can really make some real change, and we're not sitting here 16 years from now still saying the same thing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Thank you, Nicole. Let's give it up. And I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Maurisa Napper Williams. My organization is Not Another Child.
Yes.
And I was brought to this work from the murder of my son, Andrell Duran Napper, on August 7, 2006. So we sit amongst each other right now, and we feel each other's pain and we feel each other's strength, which is important as well. And some of you went into my second question for you all, but it's okay. It's people here that may deal with younger siblings and children whose parents may have been murdered. And I think that I want to hear from Mia, Shatima, and Nicole, how do you guys support them in their process?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You know, because sometimes my son didn't have any children. So, you know, with those questions that you was talking about, Mia,
I heard you should team up with them wanting, to go to where he is, different things like that. How do you support the babies in their process? Because we all know that sometimes it turns into a cycle. And these children grow up and they want to retaliate the murder of their parent or something to that effect. And I truly believe that it stops now with what we teach them at this age. So Mia, you can go first here.
So going back to something you said when you were saying that like doing the work that you're doing, it softens your heart. I think one of the biggest things for me and my children is making sure I'm keeping their heart softened, right? I could tell with my son.
Yeah, stay right there.
My bad.
Chris, you could come up now because I think.
But with my son, I could tell that he was starting to get a hardened heart, like he was mad. He's like just mad, and he never had that type of demeanor. Like he wasn't a fighter. He was an easygoing, cool little kid, right? But after losing his father, it was like it was something like, it was just like he would say it, like he would try to, like, if I say no, he like puffing up at 7. And I'm like, what is the problem? He was like, I don't know. I'm just mad. And so it really went to like therapy. I realized like he needed a mentor, like a male mentor. I mean, I had to get real creative with it. I can't even lie. Like it was not knowing anybody. I was talking to his school counselor, and she was like, "Oh, like this is a man. You can call this a man." So I'm like, "It can't be no any man." Like my kids. One thing, and I don't say it often because I was like, some people not that smart to even think that deep, and I don't want to expose my vulnerability. But I'm like, my son is vulnerable. I could put him in front of a man that doesn't mean him well. You know what I'm saying? So as he's trying to heal and he's vulnerable and he's opening up to somebody who may not have great intentions for him, I'm scared of that as for his mother. So I'm like, when it's a man that I'm looking to be a mentor to my son or a person, period, for my children, I need to vet them out to make sure that they are qualified to just lead them or whatever. And that was like something that was really, really serious for me. So, and it was a lot of men like, I'll take your son. Like, no, I'm straight, So I ended up going, like, well, when he was younger, when he went to karate, it was a man that me and his father both approved. Like, this dude really be, like, get him straight. So I called him, like, I don't care how far you are, I will pull up. I don't care what day it is, I will readjust my schedule because I got to save my son. I got to make sure his heart isn't hardened. And then following through that, like just the spirituality, like really building their faith, like, or 7 years old, it was like, yes, my kids, they were already planted in a school that is a Christian school. And I promise you guys, that right there helped them so much to just understand life in this, like we're human beings living a spiritual experience or whatever.
Wow.
It really helps that make sense for them, like the whole concept of life, death, God, heaven, all of these things. And so elaborating on that and building on that and just telling my son, like, look, your heart, like I know you're mad, but you let the devil get in your heart. And when you let the devil get in your heart, you do things like the people who did what they did to your dad. We can't have that. So I know you're mad, but we about to have to pray. We have to, like you're going to have to resist that. When you feel that, whatever that is, like let's take a moment and let's try to think about what you're feeling. Like get in touch with those feelings. And I'm taking him through it, like, what are you feeling? What are you thinking? And so when those thoughts and those feelings come about, you check them, where they at, you know what I'm saying? Because now you can understand, like, I think the devil trying to come in my heart and have me hard and have me wanting to hurt somebody. And if you're not going to become the person who did this and brought the hurt in your family to you, you're not going to become that person. So in his prayers, he always would say, like at nighttime when we say our prayers, like, God, keep the devil away from me.
Oh my God.
Like that's what he said. And, and just all of the different things that I've done, just like I said, just being creative with my daughter. She loves art. And I'm like, write about it, draw about it. And she just equipping them both, draw about it, like express yourself, talk about it. Let's look at videos. We're not going to suppress it. We're not going to put a lid on this portion of our lives. Like we're literally like going to talk about it. And like if we gotta cry, like let it out because it doesn't need to stay in. So I encourage them to cry. I encourage them to laugh. I encourage them to smile. I encourage them to draw. I even went so far with my organization, Black Men Deserve to Grow Old, to invite my children in on that with me, like, draw, and we'll present that to the world as an expression, and they feel so proud that, like, you know, I have something that I can share with the world. Like, this is cool, and it's me and my father. It speaks to that love we share for one another, and it empowers them. And I can see that they're like, even though they're young and experiencing trauma, pain so young, they're navigating it like champs. And I just be feeling proud as their mother, like, to see them not feel defeated and, you know, to kind of overcome some of the things. You know, it's been a journey. It hasn't been easy, but like I say, to anyone that's experienced it, just pay close attention. Like, children are silent grievers. Like, they may not speak, so you gotta pull it out of them. When you see stuff that's, like, when they acting up, it's like, you know, like, just really talk to their parent, their teachers, their counselors, and all of that type of stuff. Like, hey, like, we gotta recognize it's not an excuse that they have, and we're not gonna keep it as an excuse, but it's a real thing. They're hurting. Pay attention to them, be gentle with them, pull them to the side, teach them, coach them through this. Because, they don't know what they dealing with. They don't know how to deal with these emotions. Yeah, so that's just the approach that I've taken. So far, I'm blessed to say that, you know, my children are doing well. And I just be thanking God, like, you know, in those moments of just sustaining my faith and just picking myself up. And that same thing that you said, feeling like I got sucker punched. You know what I'm saying? Like, just feeling like, and you may not have said sucker punch, but just
I also use infidelity.
You know, with those moments when I be like, God, I can't believe you let me down. What I do is, like, I find all the things to be grateful for in this moment. So I'm grateful that my kids are being okay. I'm grateful for the community. I'm grateful for the counselors, for the mentors. I'm grateful just for a peace of mind, like my right mind, you know, to even be able to, like, be creative to figure out what they need and how to show it for them. And then for myself, you know, like, just having those people there to have my back too. So when I get weak, when I'm falling, when I'm losing a little bit of energy, I got people to hold me up. So
That's beautiful, Mia. Beautiful.
Hey, I'm back, y'all. Mia, I commend you.
Yeah.
Honestly, just listening to the way you speak, your strength. I don't know if I had little babies. I don't think so. But, so I have a younger daughter. My daughter is 25. She's still struggling, you know, and her and I don't live in a different state. So she left for college, and when she graduated from college, she moved down to Georgia. So she was away from Stephen and I for a few years. So I feel like with her not being around the past few years before he passed away, it's hard on her. You know, she feels like she let him down. She feels like if she didn't leave, you know, maybe things would have been different. So that's just one aspect of it that I have to deal with it, you know, and I always remind her that she was his little sister. They loved each other. No one could ever take that away from her. Not a friend, not a best friend, not an aunt, not a cousin, not no one. That's your brother. So, and he knew the love that you had for him. So I have to navigate through that with her, all while trying to maintain my own mental health. And then we have the babies. It's 2 boys and 1 girl. The girl is the middle. One of the boys is the oldest, and the Lennox is the youngest. So what happened with us during the time when he was passing, they just wanted to know why we were all sad, because they're 4, 4, and 5. So they were 3, 4, and 5 at the time. So they're trying to understand, why is Gigi crying? Why is Nana crying? So we're just like, you know, something happened with Daddy. You know, we're telling them. We're talking through it. It's the only thing you can do. You have to be honest. You have to speak about it. You have to say it. You know, the way you word it, it matters. You can't just say, oh, daddy was killed. No. You have to say, listen, daddy is no longer going to be able to come back to us. You know, and if we want to see him, we're going to sleep, we're going to dream about him, and we're going to go and visit him at his site. I have photos. We all have chains. We will all wear him on our chest. I try to, my best, to implement their father in their life so that they know who he was, what type of man he was, and what type of love that he gave and the love that he received. And it would show them your father was a respectful man. So this is what we need you to do. We need you to go to school and be good so you can grow up and be respectful. Yes, bad things do happen, but we haven't gotten that far as to tell them like someone took his life. You understand? So we have to give it to them as if he was just taken away from us, not in the sense that someone did it. I don't want to put that evil and that burden in their mind at such a young age, where they don't understand the difference between life and death. They just know here and gone.
Wow, Shatina.
So a lot of times, you know, I mean, I struggle daily, but I get up, I move, I know I have a lot of people depending on me. I don't have a choice to stay in the bed and not get up and work and not move and not be able to be there for the grandkids. And my son can't fight for justice for himself. So I have to get up and do what's necessary to make sure that the persons or persons that did this is held accountable.
Wow.
The dead can't scream for justice from their grave.
That's right. Say that. That's why we have to do it. That's right.
I'm just grateful for the people that I have, and I know that my people are grateful for me, and the calls, the texts, the posts, everything, you know. And one other thing, and let me just say this, I don't want to drag this, and I want to acknowledge somebody that's in the audience as well, but one other thing, you know, they always say it takes a village to raise a child, right? My son was raised by Harlem. I met people from 110th all the way to 155th. It's not a very large place, but it's huge. And people would come up to me like, oh, I didn't know that was your son. He always used to do this for me. He used to do that for me. So it's the testaments and it's the stories that keep me going. And those are the things that I'll be able to tell his kids, to be able to have them have a path to follow. And not only that, like I said, it takes a village. So we have all of us, my family, his family. They all have big families, and we work together. You know. I have a friend of mine in the audience. She lost her son the year after me. Tanya, can you please stand up? I love you. Can you please stand? This is Tanya. Her son was Gerard Lewis Smith Simmons, killed September 2021. Tanya, I love you and I appreciate you for coming.
I just thank you for just the strength to get here. Thank you for being here, Tanya.
Well, I'm done.
I think this is your beginning.
That's right. Well, it's when it comes to children losing a parent, it's like there's no one answer. There's no one answer because each child is different, right? And I've learned that over the years. It's like trial and error, and it's constant check-ins because not only is the parent, right, that they lost, or the loved one, but kids are losing friends these days, right? Kids are losing friends, and in our case, there's always a police shooting, and there's always another.
Yeah, that's right.
Another victim, who's been killed by police officers. So for me, every single time that y'all see another death on camera phones, I have to pick up the phone and I gotta call my kids. I have to make sure that they're not on social media. I gotta make sure that where's your headspace? You know, what's going on? You know,
That's
what are
deep.
you doing right
That's
now?
deep,
What do you have
Coley.
on
That's
schedule?
deep.
Did you eat? Right? My daughter is gonna be 21. She was 3.5 when her father was killed. And some people think that, you know, time has passed, so everybody must be okay. No. This is the worst life sentence that you could have given to anyone.
Damn.
So it's constant check-ins when it comes to kids. You gotta keep checking in. You have to, because it's not only what happened in your family, it's what's going on around them. This world is crazy. and y'all know y'all are doing the work, right? So we gotta keep checking in with the children. We have to.
That's right.
Over time, it's constant check-ins. It's validating their feelings. With me, you know, it took a while for the kids to understand, you know, what was going on. And now that they're older and they're seeing what's happening, they understand. So I'm reminding them, but not only that, I'm letting them know that it's okay to feel how you feel. Because there's a lot of people who feel that way. And many people don't talk about their trauma, right? So we don't know how many people or how many of your friends are dealing with it and just not talking about it.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
right.
remind them that they're not alone. You're not alone. There's a lot of people going through this. Okay, it's not just us. So constant check-ins, it's validating their feelings, it's speaking to them in a way that they understand. Because just like other panelists said, the kids, we can't just say, you know, X, Y, and Z happened. With me, it was like sprinkles of salt over the years. I'll tell you this, maybe when you're a little older, a little bit more mature, I'll tell you a little bit more. So we have to also talk to them in a way that they understand. So we use words that they understand. We can't, you have to control that trauma, really. We have to control the trauma that's been brought into their lives. And it's all about coping. I mean, we cope together, let my kids know that like I'm not superhuman. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel how you're feeling, but we're gonna get through this together.
That's right.
And it's tough, man. But, you know, you can have one child who's very vocal, and then you'll have another child who's completely silent. And you have to learn how to maneuver through both, but also focus on your own mental health. So I kept family members around me who meant well to me, right? Who meant well. People who I know care about me, who care about my children, so that I can feel comfortable at any time talking about how I feel. I don't have to feel a way about, maybe this is not the right time. No, I'm around the people I trust. I'm around the people who care about me, and we surround our families, we surround the children around those people too. So there's no one answer. It's a constant recipe, but those are some things that you guys hopefully can take back and share with some of the families that you have, or families that you're working with, to help them with their children, because that generational trauma is real. It's real, and people don't realize when you actually pull that trigger. No matter if you're a police officer or if you're just the average, guy on the street, girl on the street, when you pull that trigger and you take someone's life, you've now shifted like generations.
That's right.
Right? Because now I have to now raise my kids in this state.
Right.
Right? And now they're picking up the traits that they've got from me.
Right.
So it's a constant circle, and we gotta keep working. It's a constant work. I could go on for days, y'all. I get chills up here talking about
We'll be here for generational trauma.
Thank you, Nicole. Okay, so I have maybe a few minutes left. One thing that I vouch for, and Erica knows, is the legacy of our loved ones. And Chris did speak briefly about the Chris Owens Foundation. Mia has Black Men Deserve to Grow Old. Audrey, what's the name of your organization?
Shoot for the Stars Foundation.
Yes. Did
Shoot for the Stars Foundation.
Shoot for the Stars Foundation. Did anyone else have anything? What you have, sis?
NNLB United, and it's focusing on liberating Black lives through education and advocacy, because this is an epidemic, this is a root cause, this is a systemic issue that deserves structural solutions.
Thank you. So I asked that, some of them, the organizations do help and support the children that have been left behind, and some organizations is just to keep the legacies going, and so that we can be the voice that we need to be for our children. So before we leave, and I know I got 2 minutes now? I'll have no minutes? Okay, I'm gonna make a minute. But one thing that I did want to do is, we have so many out here, and I always say, if there had been a CMS in 2006, my son would probably still be here. Because of the work of the violence interrupter, the beef that was going on, that my son was caught in the middle of, a violence interrupter would have deaded that.
Yeah.
And so I do want, and I think Nicole did it already, but if you guys can give a quick word of encouragement to all of these workers that are here, so that when they're out there in the street, the mornings that they feel like don't feel like getting up, don't want to go to work, things like that, they'll hear your voice of encouragement, and their why would be even louder. Go ahead, Chris.
Definitely. I definitely want to say to you guys, I actually started Save Stand Against Violence East Harlem, so I definitely know the work, and I know the work before that, but I want you guys to know, if you guys wasn't on the streets, it'd be a lot more shootings. I done stopped shootings in the process, right after a shooting response. I done caught dudes strapped up and everything, and jumping out in the car, stopping them. So I'm letting you know, what y'all doing is real, and I come from the life too. I'm not gonna sit here and play holier than thou. I'm from Brooklyn, from Bushwick.
Okay, whatever.
Definitely. yeah, definitely. And I was in the life hard body. I used to, from my teenage years, I was in the life hard, like most of you. And like I said, if I had a violence interrupter or somebody to get in between the beefs that I got, I probably would have never seen prison or jail, anything, Like I said, the work y'all doing is amazing, And I was a program manager. Save got 2 sites now, I set the blueprint up there in East Harlem, and I'm from Brooklyn. So when I seen the work, Erica, let's talk about that. Erica and AT, those are my violence interrupters, you know what I'm saying? I seen them, Al Sharpton's office, they brought out David Patterson. I was still lit. They brought the blind dude out. It was crazy. I said, I could do that. You know what I'm saying? So the work started when I seen them. Actually, because, I was just I was done, man. I was done. And like I said, if I wasn't getting them phone calls, AT, Sister Mecca, she lost her son around that time. We went to the hospital. I just lost my son. Reese, another one. If these people weren't around, I literally wouldn't be here. I'm telling you.
I appreciate you.
I didn't want to hear none of that. But when I started doing the work, day after day, I get them phone calls. Tamika, everybody come to the press conference. I come to press conference. Trust and believe, I'm thinking about drilling too. So, but like I said, I ain't gonna speak long, but as you do the work, your heart changes, and my heart changed, and I ain't have to, see a prison cell, I ain't have to do none of that. But
That's right, we appreciate you.
See, I appreciate all of you guys, and Reese too, as well. I appreciate Aisha. Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, the work y'all doing is amazing. It's brothers like me that need somebody to talk to them, talking in ear. So if I didn't have you guys, I'm telling you, I would not be here. I would not be here.
I appreciate
and
you.
I have no problem, with that lifestyle. But I changed, I'm a changed man. Yeah, absolutely. I do film and television. Anybody need programming, lights, camera, action, that's what I do. I teach the youth.
That's right.
I had to plug in real quick.
I just want to say, for all of y'all that's out trying to just make a difference and reaching out to people, y'all are brave. It takes a lot of heart to be out there. I appreciate y'all, because that's what we need. It's like if you can reach one person at a time, that's what's needed. So I'm proud of y'all. I thank y'all. I just salute y'all. Like y'all are like street soldiers for real. And I'm praying for y'all too, for y'all's safety, because it's not easy what you're doing. So I just salute y'all. And just be encouraged by y'all.
I know for a fact that if Life Camp Bragg was in my neighborhood, that I would not have gotten shot. And that is why my activism was switched and become rooted in policy, because I was the 4th person shot by the same crew in that week. And I experienced respectability politics. And so I got angry because the man who got shot the week before me was holding his 2-year-old daughter, but he was an ex-gang member, so I guess the media and the police didn't care about his life. Then the 2 other people who got shot before me were both here undocumented, so they didn't care about their life. And then I got shot, and then all hell broke loose, and I got angry. I got angry because it shouldn't take for me. Yeah, I went to college and I'm an activist. I come from a family of activists, but every life matters. So I know for a fact that if Bragg was in my part of the Bronx, one deemed not as violent, although we had shootings going on throughout, it was a hot summer, I know that I would not have gotten shot. And I'm still very much angry about that. And very much angry that we choose policy and we choose to put our money into not rooting out the root causes of violence. I'm very angry that we do not spend our money on programs and resources so we can eradicate gun violence. Because I very much understand how this country uses mass incarceration as profit. So when I got shot, all hell broke loose. And then it was like, damn, we let the wrong one. You absolutely did. So I know for a fact if you guys were in my neighborhood, I would not have this scar, this bullet would not have gone through my leg. I know that for a fact, and that's what I'm going to continue to fight for, and that's what I want you to take back. So when city council is not putting you on a budget line, when your state legislators are not putting you on a budget line, when they're defunding education, when they're defunding you, when they're ripping out parks in our neighborhood, when gentrification is off the wall, when jobs are providing sustainability in economics, yes. Because that could have prevented, you guys could have prevented, but they didn't give a damn. Even at the moment when the officers asked me, are you sure you're not dating anybody who's gang related? The stigma, being railroaded by the medical industry. People live with bullets in their leg all the time. You'll be all right, but I can't walk. And it was a black woman doctor who told me I'm taking that out. So I know that if you guys have the resources that you actually need, and some of y'all know y'all, we are family, we are friends. If y'all had what y'all needed, I would not have gone through what I went through, which I'm still going through, spending thousands of dollars in therapy to go through.
I see y'all. Let me say that. And I literally see y'all walk through my neighborhood, walk past businesses, friends' businesses that I know. I have a business in Harlem, so I see y'all. I would like to say that. I also just wanted to touch on, like, with the gun violence, I don't know which way to go, but I know that the guns are too available. And we need to figure out.
They coming from I-95, baby. They know where they coming from.
It's the laws, though. It's the laws. We need to reduce that. And I appreciate you guys for the work that you do. You know, if you call on me, any of you, I'm here. It's just out of control, you know. But again, I see you.
Appreciate you.
So, one is I became aware of this concept at the community parade for my son. And I saw, I think they were yellow jackets. And I was like, who are those people? And I was just very impressed by the concept, right? But what I've heard sitting here tonight is that you've all been really given good mandate and standards to make change. Y'all are not playing games. This is not that surface stuff, right? That y'all get funded in and 2 years later it's over. You guys have really been given a mandate to make change, how to really see a child or a young adult who's in crisis and to talk them out, down, and over. And I am so impressed with this. Really, and I don't say that because as a teacher, as a former teacher, one of the things I realized at a certain point was that y'all really don't want me to educate these children, right? So we have all these policies and all these new books, and when it was working this year, next year we don't use it. But you guys have really been given the challenge and the equipment to really change how people think and how people see themselves in the world. And for that, I'm grateful.
I like hearing Miss Jackson speak. I feel comfort.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's true.
So, yeah, I mean, I've said a lot to you guys, but I do also want to say, we have to continue to remember our loved ones after we lose them. So, the work that you guys are doing, I continue to thank you. I'm forever grateful just for seeing out here. I think the best part about it is that we don't have to always go straight to the police when there's a problem. And I gotta say that just straight. That's just straight off of my head, because where I'm from, most people don't want to do that, right? When there's a problem, you don't want to have to answer to them, because we know 9 times out of 10 they're gonna come trying to not de-escalate the situation, but to actually make it worse. And that's what happens in most cases. That's what happened to Sean. So I'm grateful for the work that you guys have done. And then earlier, I forgot to mention when talking about children, there's another important part, like what we're doing here by continuing to keep the memories alive. It's important when working with children that you help them preserve their memories. Because over time, the memories do fade, right? But by talking about, their dad or their mom or whomever it was, by talking about that person and helping them keep the memories that they have, you're really helping to bring that comfort to them. That's really hard to find in times like that. So I'm just thankful to be encouraged by people like you. And it's really tough to continue to talk about this. It's like re-triggering and re-traumatizing. But at the same time, it's like healthy, and it feels like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It's a crazy world, y'all. Especially after you've lost someone that you really, really care and really love. And I just commend all of you, and I just hope that y'all can just give yourselves a round of applause. I know you guys are here for us, but I'm here for y'all. Thank you.
Okay, once again, I would like to thank all of our wonderful panelists. Let's give it up for them. And the other parents that was able to make it out. And thank you guys for the stage, for this platform, and for hearing from us. Thank you.
Keep up the great work, everybody.